is live. Well, this is not really meant for anybody to join, but I did post the link anyway if anybody wants to join. I guess I'll close this page because it's going to start echoing in a second. Just kind of wanted to ramble about a few things. Mainly, Inventive Harvest has downloaded the IPython notebook. I made some videos on this channel, and I started this other channel with him. And he took it upon himself to download that. Got pretty far. Got a little bit stuck. I made a video, helped him pass those, though he also, helped himself pass many of the things he had asked by the time I'd answered it, is my impression. But still, he was stuck by those little tiny software things that'll get you stuck. And I feel really good that I helped him do that, because he isn't just playing with the code, which would be cool enough, but he made this great video to Hythloday, where he uses the notebook to actually run solutions and stuff in the math about the economics they're talking about. And that's just awesome. And so I'm getting information flow back about, oh, how do you use this kind of software? How do the maths of this kind of software apply to economics, an area I haven't really applied them to. And it also reminded me that Hythloday and I were going to do some videos where we wanted to have some graphs and stuff. I figured I'd write a little program to do it where we played with income distribution, the current income distribution and what it could be. And it occurs to me that, we might do that with some sort of proper mathematical economic frameworks involved. Be a cool thing to do with some notebooks. So that's really, really cool. And I really appreciate Inventive Harvest's interest. And it didn't occur to me he had such a, a purposeful reason to, want to get the hang of this stuff. But of course, it makes sense in retrospect, because often when people actually install software and things, they have a purpose. It's like if you want to learn to sew just because I kind of like to learn to sew, well, you might not stick with it. But if it's, I want to make a shirt, I have a picture of it in my mind, you probably buckle down and learn to sew. And so that was what was going on. I had no idea, but it's exactly what I would hope to accomplish. And anybody else that even takes 1/10 of the initiative of Inventive Harvest and actually uses the IPython notebooks, either installs them or uses them at math.com or .org. You can go check that out. Sage Math, because there's another kind of notebook called Sage Notebooks. But, I will happily add videos to my stream here to answer questions and help you through Python issues, large and small, all in this context of it being real easy to get to this fun level where you can make plots and, do 2- and 3-dimensional plots and multiple plots and control everything. And, it's just a fun way to do a very basic and core kind of programming, which is this data processing, which is what computers are really for and all they really do. Everything else they seem to do is actually just because it's been turned into a form of data processing where maybe your user input is part of the input. Maybe your geolocation, maybe the video from your camera, part of the input. Maybe your, some device is being controlled, a temperature in your house. Well, that's just part of the output. It's always information processing. So I'm really happy about that. And I'll try to keep up my part of the bargain and keep putting things out. I have another video I'm going to do with the same randomness notebook I had used that is about well, I made a copy of it and I have to redo it because the audio didn't come out. And I titled it sort of the apophenia of mathematics, the fact that you can overanalyze data. And then I thought we would segue in. Maybe immediately following that, there might be a couple more episodes with the randomness notebook, but that we might segue into making a notebook that we just are looking for some domain to analyze, to play with data. How about economic data, wealth distribution? We can categorize different people in an economy by role, and create random data sets and acquire real data sets. So yeah. So the other issue I was thinking about talking about, sort of bigger, which is me dealing with kind of the PTSD of losing my daughter. I think it's getting worse. It's a bit bipolar. Like, in a way, I'm feeling more stable. Like, yeah, I can go on, and life is definitely worth living. I have a lot of good things. I really love Maine. I love my wife and my stepson and the pets and the snow. So things are great. On the other hand, I do think I have some increase in PTSD symptoms, like my sleep habits, but that's thrown off because I work really well late at night. So I'll work till 1 or 2 as a matter of course, and if there's something really heavy going on, I might work till 3 or 4 through the night. And I don't often work till dawn. I try to force myself to sleep because that doesn't pay off pretty quickly. But so that also screws up your sleep pattern. But then even if I go to sleep early, I'll just I'll sleep 13 hours and wake up late as if I had stayed up till 4. So based on why I stay in bed in the morning, it's like I'm on the edge of a kind of a thing where you want to stay in bed a lot, right? And I think the working late is actually helping me not to be in that state of mind, or more hours a day. So it's a difficult thing. I don't, it's not something that's going away on its own. Yeah, I'm wondering a lot what to do about the thoughts that I have as a result. Often people are always kind of like, compared to me, people want to just let things lie, and I believe you could talk things out. And I've learned in my life that, okay, well, you have to give in to people, the way people are. And maybe I even have a problem, I want to, pick at a wound or whatever. But I don't really think so. While I'm still willing to compromise with society and let things lay and not talk about them, I know for a fact that you can talk things out and actually get over them. You can talk to your parents or a brother or sister or someone you have some long-standing little gripe with. It could be a tiny gripe that you think from your childhood is so small you don't even think it should be talked about yourself, but it keeps coming up in your mind. Well, it is possible, given certain personalities in yourself and the other person, to talk those things out. And I think that's what we should be doing. And so the thoughts I get because of my roiling over just this whole life history as a result of this a traumatic experience, and also wonderful experience that I did have with my daughter June. I'm left with things that I would like to work out and talk with people about and just find out what they think. And even if we were at odds, that's what I would prefer. And people aren't that way. And, on the one hand, I'm willing to compromise with the world, as I said. And on the other hand, I know that's not for the best. But if I force it, people have unrepairable emotional trauma from it. So, that's not the goal. So anyway, it's a thing in my life in general, but I am sure that by talking things out, we give ourselves a chance to come to a higher understanding and more accepting. You can only accept things the way they are once you feel you understand the way they are. So if you talk to people, you can at least understand the way they are. Maybe you're what's the word? Unreconcilable differences. At least then you realize, oh, they're unreconcilable, and you can accept them. Whereas if you don't understand if they are or aren't unreconcilable, so a lot of times, I mean, people cut the difference and they just sever ties with people. Whether it's unreconcilable or not, they just treat it as though it's unreconcilable, and that's also not a good thing. Just treating it like it's unreconcilable just to play it safe is not really the safe thing. I mean, it seems easy with certain people in your life. You get to a certain point with someone who was a friend or anything, like, seems easy, but then what about when it's family or people? There's other reasons, friends and things, not to do it, and you have to make these decisions. Really, even someone who's barely a stranger, if you had a little problem with them, it'd be worth taking a few moments and talking it out. And again, even if the differences turn out to be, unreconcilable, and I'm sure of that, and this is a point of conflict with me in the world, which obviously is the world's fault, is what I'm saying. So anyway, what else? Well, I'm not working for anybody else. I'm working a lot, though, on my system, my data processing system, and making an interface for it and stuff. I've been talking to people about jobs. I might take a contract where I had to go somewhere else. Maybe I'll work some more for the startup I had been working for if their funding comes through as hoped and expected. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. I'm not too terribly calm. I've got to be active. So yeah, what else should be a part of this ramble? I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, I really am. Thanks, Inventive Harvest. If you're watching this video, I really appreciate your interest, and I'm glad to see that I did help you, not just because you're interested and I satisfied some interest, but it's like, just a few tiny details and showing you that notebooks exist, and you're like, zing. That's what I wanted to see. I did not expect to see it so readily. So that's fantastic. And it makes me feel good. So thanks. All right. Anyway, cheers to everybody, and stay in touch.